How you doing, everybody? Listen, I hope you're all well. It's the 1st of January 2011, and I just want to wish everybody a happy new year, and I want to wish them in particular a peaceful new year, because we're heading into doom and gloom, as it were, and that's not. I don't mean to be a pessimist in saying that, but the economic and political order of the world don't look too stable at the moment, and we're obviously heading into troubled waters. And I just hope that we have a peaceful, if we can manage to get through 2011, we'll have done well for this year anyway. Okay. I was away for a couple of days, and when I was away, I had time to think. Friend of my wife, her family, she's been recovering from cancer, and her family hired a house for a couple of days, and her and her husband invited my wife and I up, and so we went up to sort of lend a bit of moral support to them. So I got back yesterday, but while I was away, I had a bit of time to think, and I want to just say a couple of things. I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for their support for this channel, all the subscriptions that I've had, and all the people who've made comments in particular. Because some of the comments, I mean, I have to say, some of the people that make those comments, they're just, well, they don't view the world as I do it. They don't view it. I'm a total cynic about the world, and I tend to view it quite a negative way in many ways. And they don't view it that way. They're quite positive, and they're very open, and they're very they're different than me anyway. Let's put it that way. And some of the comments they make are very constructive, and an awful lot of time and an awful lot of energy goes into it, and I appreciate it tremendously. And I just want to thank them, as I say. When I was away, I had a good bit of time to think, and one of the things I wanted to touch about, because it's come up, I was looking at YouTube when I was away. I don't have one, but the man that I was with, he had a laptop, and I was able to look at YouTube, and I was just seeing there's an awful lot of stuff about the purchasing of gold and silver and all this, and I just want to say something very, very, very sort of, I haven't really thought this out, but I just want to say this off the top of my head. Look, we had a situation here in Ireland over the last week, 10 days, where we had a collapse in temperatures, and the temperature went down to -15, -18 degrees, and as a result of it, huge numbers of water pipes burst all over the country, and especially in urban areas. And in the north of Ireland, for instance, there was more than 150,000, I reckon between 150 and 200,000 people in the city of Belfast had no water for almost a week now. So that wouldn't be very pleasant over the period of Christmas. And I just want to touch on something, and what I want to touch on is, I just want to touch about the basic essentials of life, just in case anybody's under illusion. Gold and silver are alright if you have excess money and you want to invest it. It's a good medium for investment, and that's it. But for the vast majority of people, do not have the wherewithal to do that. And all I want to say is, you only need a couple of things to survive. You need water and you need food. They're the primary things. You need air, of course, right? So they're the basic things for the body, and then you need the external things for the body. The internal things, as I say, are air, water, and food. They're the internal things you need for your body. And the external things you need are clothes, and you need shelter. Okay? And that's essentially all you need. Just those, and that's what we generally give over our lives. That's what we sell our labour, and we get involved in the whole business of life to do, just to acquire those couple of simple little things so we can survive. That's all. And when we do that, when we have the availability of air, water, and food, and clothes, and some shelter, we're able to go through life. We're able to go, start off when we're born, and come out the other end, and we end up in a box the other end. And we've lived a life. Lots of people have no contact with gold and silver and all the rest of it. And I can understand where the gold and silver gurus are coming from. I understand all that. But I think the first priority is to try and get the real essence of what we're all about here. And I would implore people. I told you before, it's going to cost about €200 to do, and that is to get a store of food which will last a month to 2 months, around that period, 2 months, water and food, which will last you 2 months for you and your immediate family. Now, if you've got a bigger family, it's going to cost more, I know that. But what I would advise you to do is, I'd advise you to sell some, or get the money some way and invest the money over a period, let's say 6 months or 9 months, on a weekly basis, a small amount of money, €10 a week. And after 26 weeks, you will have invested €260, and you'll be stunned at what you've acquired. But that is it's most important. I say, this thing that went on here in Ireland with the water made me completely aware. Now, this is twice this has happened in my life. It happened before in the 70s, where you had a political breakdown, and there was no water, there was no food, there was no electricity. It was very, very hairy. So now we have it, there was no water. Now the first time it happened, there was no problem. It was a completely different set of problems to what happened here, because at least when it happened here, you had social cooperation going on with the people. The first time it happened with me in the 70s in Belfast, there was very little social cooperation. The guys with the guns got it all. They just seized everything. So at least these people, there was no guys with guns running around the place. So what I'm saying is, just be aware of what's important, and what's important is those couple of things for us, and get your supply of water and food and put it together, and at least that'll be a basis for moving forward. And I forgot to mention just one final thing, and it's the most important thing of all, and I won't dwell on it, but it'll be obvious to everybody, I hope it is, and that's love. It's the key essential for everything, because if we don't have it, we've got nothing. And society will not sustain itself if we don't have that basic thing. If we have that, there's all sorts of possibilities can come out of it. Listen, I have plenty of posting to do, so we're going to talk more on all this stuff, okay? Bye. Stay well, and a happy new year to everybody.